Bill and Jalen's 2013 NBA Preview.
Bill and Jalen's NBA Preview continues with the rejuvenated and restocked and reloaded Houston Rockets. The fan base, very excited. You're not going to believe this, but we dipped into the 1980s yet again. What a great decade. How do we keep doing it? But here's the clip for them to capture the Rockets fan base mindset.
Hands, everybody, and everybody.
What movie? You know the movie yet? You might not have seen this one.
No, what movie is this?
Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh yeah, that's the reason why I didn't see it. Actually, when you know where he copied those clips, I was watching those movies like Wild Style, Beat Street, Breaking.
Right. So the plot of Revenge of the Nerds is these nerds go to college. Everyone picks on them. They form this frat, Lambda, Lambda, Lambda. Actually, they join this frat. And they kind of upend the cool people. Look, there's Dork Elvis. Dork Elvis came in. Wow. Oh, look at the nerds have won. The nerds have won.
Yeah.
So the point is the nerds have won. Everyone would say, what is Daryl doing? Why is he adding all these assets? What did he think? He's crazy enough to think he's going to get a superstar.
He beat everybody at their own game.
Beat everyone at their own game. He gets James Harden, who is now the best two guard in the league, unless Kobe Bryant can come back and get to where Kobe Bryant was, and I'm dubious, and I'm sure you are too. And then gets Dwight Howard, who statistically is the best center in the league. He now has two of the best 12 players in the league.
I think this team has the opportunity to advance in the Western Conference playoffs, surprise a lot of people. I got a chance to see this team up close and personal in Taiwan and Taipei. And one thing I want the fans to know, Dwight Howard was working on his game. Right side of the basket, face up, bank shot from 12, he can make that shot.
The Tim Duncan shot?
He can make that shot.
He's got the Tim Duncan bank shot now.
Tim Duncan shoots it from the left side, though.
So he does the right side version of the Tim Duncan bank shot.
He does.
So here's what they did. They didn't just get him. They got Francisco Garcia, who's one of the best locker room dudes in the league. Everybody loves that guy. Ronnie Brewer, probably, I don't know. I mean, he's bounced around at this point. I don't mind Reggie Williams as a three-point shooter. And they got either Marcus Camby or his dad. I can't tell anymore.
Marcus Camby continues to get a check. It seems like when he signs with the team, he's immediately in the training room.
He's replaced Jawan. Jawan is now an assistant coach. Marcus Camby is the new how are you still getting checks guy.
But Jawan was never listed on the injury report.
True. Marcus Camby's getting paid to be injured.
He's always,
how do I get that job?
That happened. If you look at his last 3 or 4 jobs, when I saw him this summer, I complimented him. I walked up to him and said, big fella, you keep getting them checks.
And he's like, I know, I'm still stealing them.
I am not mad at him at all.
Let's look at the rotation.
What's going to happen with their starting power forward, whether it's Terrence Jones or
right now he's starting for them.
Montejunas, who I saw both of those players working on their three-point shooting, but they're not three-point knockdown shooters to create space for Dwight Howard to operate. And what's going to happen at the point guard spot. Now, what people underestimate about the Jeremy Lin thing is he averaged 13 and 6 in New York through all of Lin's insanity. That's actually what he averaged in Houston.
I think he's going to be better this year than he was last year.
He will be.
I think he went through, I think that was a whirlwind 18 months. The amount of attention that was suddenly on him was very hard to deal with, and I bet he responds better.
You go from sleeping on your friend's couch
to being a world-famous celebrity.
To being a world-famous celebrity. I agree with you, he's going to be a lot better. I really like this Houston team. Well, they should be disappointed if they don't make the Western Conference Finals.
And we talked in our New Orleans preview about how much sense an Omer Asik for Ryan Anderson trade made. Omer Asik. I don't think they can play him and Howard at the same time.
They can.
I don't see it.
They can. And you got to put.
From a foul shooting standpoint, it's a disaster.
That's something totally different. Now the last 5 minutes of the game.
That's why I don't think they can play them together.
But
last 5 minutes of a game, you have two guys out there who are below 50% shooting free throws.
But let me tell you,
it's a disaster.
Let me tell you the second part of that is you have a player that when he was coming off the bench in Oklahoma City, James Harden led the NBA in fourth quarter free throws made. You go foul Asik, you go foul Dwight Howard all you want. If James Harden has the basketball, he's getting to the free throw line. He's getting the shots if you're getting the bonus early.
What does Zach Lowe think of this team? How does Dwight Howard fit the go-go Rockets? Now, this is a whole other thing. Dwight Howard likes to slow it down, put his butt in the block, get me the ball. You think he's going to want to run. Young Dwight Howard liked to run. Old Dwight Howard last year in the Lakers, that team was so old and creaky, they didn't want to run anyway. Do you think he wants to run anymore?
Dwight Howard is probably 6'9 and a half, 6'10.
I was going to, you stood next to him. How was he
He's
like
barely
an inch
taller than me.
Yeah, he's like 6'9.
He's barely taller than I am.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to play a windshield wiper game. He's going to be able to pick and roll.
I like that.
You front the post, he's going to be able to spin out and get the lob over the top. And James Harden, with the offense being spread, and Chandler Parsons and Jeremy Lin, these are ball handling and creating players. He's going to get a lot of drop passes for dunks. He's going to get a lot of rim runs for layups and dunks. I think this system is going to fit Dwight Howard just like Orlando did when they went to the NBA Finals.
The one thing I thought was interesting was that when we spent time with James Harden, when we did that thing with him and Durant, we were asking about Dwight Howard. He didn't seem that excited. Do you think he's more excited now that you saw him a few months later? Does he feel more excited about this Dwight Howard thing?
That's just his personality.
You think so?
He's really excited to have Dwight, you know, and watching those guys interact with one another, practicing with one another, playing a couple of preseason games.
You felt there was some chemistry?
There's a lot of chemistry
good.
there. They both get the big piece of chicken. When they get on the bus, they both sit in the back seat.
Oh, good. Clairvoyant Bill happens to agree with you. There will be no alpha dog battle with this team. I actually like the James Harden Dwight Howard combo.
Me too.
Dwight Howard doesn't want the ball the last 5 minutes. He doesn't want to get fouled. So James Harden will take the last 5 minutes. That's not what Clairvoyant Bill wants to bring up, though. There is an Asik trade coming. It's happening. And it's going to be, if it's not for Ryan Anderson, it could be for Jeff Green of the Boston Celtics. And then Houston fans could be as frustrated with Jeff Green as I am. Let's look at Kirk Goldsberry's graphic. I bet James Harden's involved with this one. Oh, no, it's Chandler Parsons. Wow. Now, that is a corner three shooter. Oh, my God.
You know, one thing that I like about this young man's game is he has 4 distinct spots on the floor that he's good at and that are red.
It's 4 more than me.
He's the only person we've done this for that has that.
Yeah.
He makes both corners, the top and the hoop.
Yeah.
That's a complete player.
And the hoop thing's really interesting because you don't think of him as a good athlete, but he is. And then also, we've done this, we've seen shot charts where guy's good in one corner, not as good in the other. He's equally good in both. He's going to get more corner threes with Dwight Howard.
He didn't have Dwight Howard on the roster.
Although Dwight Howard isn't exactly Larry Bird as a passer.
He's a good passer for a center.
So, should Chandler Parsons be the next Bachelor?
No, I want him to play basketball.
What about during the offseason?
No, just focus on his game.
Then he could narrow it down to 4 and James Harden and Dwight Howard could meet the girls?
No.
You wouldn't be up for that?
Focus on his game right now. Okay. Get that second deal.
You got to get paid.
No, when you deliver Dwight Howard and y'all have the same agent, he's already paid.
Oh.
He's holding the lottery ticket.
Handcuff contract.
Wink, wink.
That's like Martell Webster and John Wall.
Exactly.
Martell, here's your tip. Here's your $22 million tip.
Exactly.
All right, well, I'm not worried about Chandler Parsons. Let's see why the Triangle likes the Rockets this year. They think the future holds James Harden slowly turning on Dwight Howard. Now, this is interesting. Orlando kind of turned on Dwight Howard a little bit. The Lakers turned on Dwight Howard. It reminded me of on Melrose Place, which I know you didn't watch.
But here's the difference. Dwight Howard didn't have a choice to be in either one of those places. He got drafted by the Magic and traded to the Lakers. He chose to be in Houston.
You're ruining a very important Melrose Place analogy. Did you watch Melrose Place?
I've only watched it once or twice.
So Kimberly, that's Kimberly right there. She got in a car accident. Everybody thought she was dead. She was a doctor. And she came back. And everything seemed fine. Kimberly was back. She started dating Michael again, one of the other doctors. Everyone's like, everything's okay with Kimberly. And then this scene happened.
If it's not General Hospital, all my children, I don't know.
Let's see this clip. You'll see what I mean. See, everything looks good. Kimberly's...
That never looks good.
No, but...
When you're taking some sort of pill with some sort of dark...
Well, this part does look good.
That's never good.
I'm saying she looks good. Like, she's a very attractive redhead. But yet, stuff's... But, Jalen, what is she doing? Why is her head bothering her so much? Oh, she has a that was a wig and she has a giant alien scar on her head. And she's hiding a secret. And what happened over the next couple years is Kimberly went crazy and she blew up Melrose Place.
Gotcha.
So Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's Kimberly. You're not with me on this one?
I'm not with you on this.
Here's the thing. I look at Dwight Howard and I wait for the wig to come off with the giant alien scar. I just do. I'm just waiting for the alien scar.
It's hard to go against what everyone loves, and Dwight Howard had to do that. Orlando, the #1 family destination in the world. The Los Angeles Lakers is a storied franchise.
Right.
You don't work out in those two places. You create a lot of enemies as fans and as media.
You know why you like Dwight Howard so much? Because you just went to the Philippines with the Rockets and the Pacers.
No,
you're in on everybody on both teams.
No,
Dwight's a good guy.
I've always said
I was in the Philippines with Dwight.
I've always said
he has a bank shot now.
I always said that fit for him didn't work in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I always said that. I was saying that for what's best for both sides if they traded him. I was thinking trade him home to Atlanta and get Al Horford and Kyle Korver. I was saying it all year.
You made fun of Dallas. Maybe Dirk Nowitzki and Monte Ellis should have taken him to the Philippines. You'd be like, oh, Monte Ellis got a big year. I saw Monte was working on a bank shot.
Dwight Howard was injured last year. I think
he's going to be injured this year.
I remember being at a game. He got an offensive rebound and a straight up, straight down vertical dunk. He basically got hung at the rim. I was like, he's hurt. I think he's going to come out. He led the league in boards. He's going to lead the league, him or Kevin Love, in rebounds again. He may lead the league in blocks. That's going to be a terrific dynamic duel.
And I thought Houston had to get him. It was 100% the right thing to do. I think they would get 2, possibly 3 really good years out of him would be the hope. I don't know if 5 years or 4 years, however long that contract ends up being. I don't know if he's physically the same guy 3 years from now. This might be the tail end of whatever prime that he has. Because the guy I watched last year was the guy we used to watch. We talked about this on the show a million times. He used to be a specimen. And this guy who was just this force of nature, physical guy. And last year's guy was not a force of nature.
I'm just going to plant a seed.
Okay.
Okay. Because we might create a harvest. Just a little drop.
Okay.
And you heard it here first. I'm just going to plant a seed. Okay. So the handful of years you're talking about, I'll say the next couple of years, there's a player in the NBA that becomes a free agent during that time that we had in this studio that's friends with James Harden. His name is Kevin Durant.
Ooh.
Now, you heard it here first. There may be a chance that when Kevin Durant becomes a free agent, who just sold his main house in Oklahoma City.
He did?
Because he wants to live downtown, be more in the mix. He got a couple of brownstones. I'm not saying that he's bailing on OKC by any means. But I think after he plays out his couple of years on his contract, that he's going to Houston to play with Dwight Howard and James Harden.
Hold on, I need another 10 seconds. Okay, so Dwight Howard, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. You think Durant would potentially leave Russell Westbrook behind?
Here's the other part of that. I got to pour out some for Russell Westbrook.
Another seed?
Too.
More seeds?
Yeah, that seed is for Russell Westbrook. Since we've already done the Lakers, and we're talking about OKC, I think the second part of that is when Russell Westbrook has the opportunity, he's going to leave OKC and go with Kevin Love to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, his basketball soulmate. So your big general theory here is that Oklahoma City long-term is in trouble keeping these guys after the Harden trade because those guys are mad that they traded James Harden.
It's not that they're mad that they traded James Harden. Is there are 2 teams in the league, 3 teams in the league that developed players the last few years that have become all-stars.
Yep.
The Bulls did it with Rose, Noah, and Dang. Mm-hmm. The Pacers did it with Granger, Hibbert,
and
George. The other team to do it was OKC. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, but the problem is they lost the third one.
Yeah.
And James Harden.
That was a problem, all right.
And so 2 years ago, you lose Harden. Last year, you lose Martin. I'm not sure where they're going to get their third scorer from. So I think Kevin and both Russell play this out as all NBA teammates over these next couple of years, see if they can win a championship. Then after those couple of years, I think Russell goes to LA. I think Durant goes to Houston.
And he played college in Texas.
Ding.
And we should also mention that you knew that they were trading Harden a week before it happened.
Ding.
We should also mention that you decided that Michael Jordan was coming back and playing one game this year. You predicted that in an earlier preview, and you were very confident about it.
Ding.
Jalen Rose, everybody. Hey, speaking of Jalen Rose. Oh, my
Get
God.
People!
H-Town.
What they want.
Oh, my God. H-Town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to all of the fans out there of Oklahoma City and of the NBA, don't get upset when I'm doing projections. It's my job to foresee in the future.
Oh, the lobster fell off.
By no means am I saying that they're going to give up on OKC and OKC is not going to be in the championship mix, but it's my job to forecast what I think may happen in a few years.
All right, stop apologizing to people who do not understand.
No, that's an absolute fact.
I know.
You know, I'm not a reporter. I'm not a beat writer.
You're an opinion person.
I'm giving the people what they want.
You're giving opinions, and then people are going to give opinions on your opinions.
And be mad at me.
Yeah.
So when you're in Houston, you know what you do? It has something in common when you're in the South.
Yeah?
Let me see. What do Florida...
No state taxes?
In places where there are no state taxes,
yeah,
you seem to have, for some strange reason, the best entertainment for adults. And when you're in Houston,
it's really good.
It's really good.
It's a really good place if you like
it is.
Gentlemen's clubs.
Yes.
If you're a gentleman, who likes to go to a club, it's a good place too.
And one time, I went to one of the, I think it was Treasures.
Yeah.
And ironically, I didn't have on a collared shirt.
They let you in?
They act like they didn't want to let me in. And I went through a couple of channels, and they did not let me in. And you know what we do because we give the people what they want?
What?
I paid for a cabbie shirt.
You talking to me?
And I put it on top of the shirt I had on, and it was 2 sizes too small. But it got me into the spot.
You love Houston. You never played in Houston.
I love Houston.
You only played as an opponent.
And also,
you'd have been you could in '08 you could have done a year for the Rockets just for fun.
I know. See, as a rookie, I played against the Rockets, playing for the Nuggets. So we got a chance to play them a couple times in preseason.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Play them again, the regular season. Like, this is my spot.
Now it's like, that happens.
Woo!
Yeah. Well, now it's time to figure out what is Miami's vice with the Houston Rockets. I would think 2 things. 1, James Harden can score at the end of games.
Yep.
And number 2, Dwight Howard is very large. And they don't really have a center who can do anything remotely some of the things he can do on paper. I would think this would be, in one sense, a scary matchup for them, but then another one athletically. Like guys like Jeremy Lin, who's always looked bad against Miami, and the small ball style. Miami loves playing small ball. I don't know. What do you think, Houston versus Miami?
If you're going to beat the Miami Heat, it has to be at the 1 or the 5. They got it at the 5 with Dwight Howard, but James Harden handles the ball like a 1. They still need to get another perimeter player in Houston.
And we didn't even really mention, I really like the Isaiah Cannon pick for them. I think he's going to play for them. I like what Beverly did for them last year. If Jeremy Lin, for some reason, doesn't end up ever recapturing Linsane, I do think they're covered on that end. The spot for me is that stretch 4. And who's that going to be? Can it be Terrence Jones? I like Terrence Jones in college. Man, like, maybe he can do it. I think they need to figure out who that stretch 4 is. I think they can get away with the point guards they have.
I do, too. And also, Kevin McHale has done a good job of doing one thing, establishing a style of play.
Yeah.
And he and Daryl working together to actually bring in players to fit that style.
The Houston Rockets, I don't know if they're going to win the title this year, but I can tell you this much. It's going to be a fun team to watch. I'm excited to see how Harden and Dwight Howard blend. I love watching James Harden. I'm excited for Chandler Parsons to be the next Bachelor. I'm excited to continue to dress like Miami Vice characters. We got the top 7 coming up. Now we're really getting into the nitty-gritty here.
Clap your hands, everybody, and everybody clap your hands. We lambda, 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 and oh, make a move. And we've come here on stage tonight to do a show.